what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here doing another Super 7 action figure 2-in-1 video. We're looking at the Super 7 Ultimates Silverhawks toy versions with the back metal chromey goodness all over them. I'm so happy to have these. I did pick these up at my local Super 7 store. Big shout out and thank you to Brent. And yeah, put some aside for me, picked them up for Father's Day. Big thanks to Lord Emetron and ShartimusPrime. These are my Father's Day presents right over here. Yay! Amongst a couple other goodies. I had a good Father's Day. I really wanted these figures very badly, as you may have seen some interviews of me talking to Brian Flynn about the Silverhawks and them not having shiny goodness. And I still have these right here. I did buy them at reduced cost because I did wait for them to go on a Black Friday sale. I just didn't want to pay full price for these because it was these versions right here that I really wanted more than anything. I really think that they're trying to avoid going this route because it seems super hard. And I want to give a big shout out to Pixel Dan and Brian Flynn for not punching me in the face over at San Diego Comic-Con last year, for me douching out over that whole interview, or Stina. Anyway, the packaging right here is almost the same as what we'd seen before, but we don't have the outer sleeve. So you can see difference right over there with this other Quicksilver. I do miss the outer sleeve for these in particular, but I think it's actually better that Super 7 doesn't have these with every single figure, because it's like, holy crap, man, it's a lot of extra cardboard and costs that you don't have to use. Anyway, you can see very reflective blue, and then on the back, you get same images and everything that we'd seen, you know, previous version right there. So, well, slightly different. I thought it would be exactly the same, but slightly different. And then the read-up on the back is exactly the same as what it was before. So if you want to read that for Quicksilver, you can do it right now. There it is for Steelheart. If you want to read that, go ahead and do it right now. And then you can see nothing much on the side. Top says Ultimates, not much more at the bottom. So let's get to it and crack these things open. And if you're trying to get your Super 7 figures, you can do so at
big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
Oh man, these Silverhawks look awesome. Yes, here they are, and I'm so happy to have these vac metal chromey looking Silverhawks. And yeah, these toy versions look fantastic. Now they are delicate. I did find some joints that had some of that paint peeled right from the get-go without me even doing anything to them. You might be able to see it on the right shoulder of Quicksilver right over there. But, man, I expected that. That's one reason why they didn't want to do this initially, is just due to the fragility of this type of paint. If you had any of those toys back in the day, you would know how fragile that back metal is. Anyway, I'm excited to get a closer look at these. So regardless, I'm happy that they did this, and I'm happy to have them. So let's get a closer look. So each of these figures pretty much come with the same accessories. You get a set of fisted hands, which are on the figures. You get flat hands right here, which I've attached to the wings. You have weapon holding hands, and then you have wider gripping hands, and they each come with their pet hawks. And the other versions do come with an extra pet hawk. I remember Tally Ho, but I can't remember off the top of my head of Steelheart's pet. But you have a version with the wings collapsed over here, and you don't get that with this toy version right here. Also, with the cartoon versions, you have the shoulder laser beams, which you can port onto these. You do want to be careful. You want to be careful no matter what you do with these figures. Then you have a communicator right here that you get with Quicksilver with the cartoon version that you don't get with the toy version. But aside from that, these are the same accessories, just painted a bit differently. And I gotta tell you, man, there's a reason why Brian Flynn and the folks at Super 7 didn't want to do this. It's because you're just guaranteed to see some flaking. If you have any experience with vac metal toys at all, you're going to see flaking. And I did see flaking. Not exactly how I expected to see it, though. And we'll get into it more in just a little bit. I have tried to be very, very careful with these, and I still have gotten flaking just in ways I did not expect. Anyway, let's get a closer look at these birds, because they look okay. You know, there's just not a lot going on. You definitely get more paint with the toy or the cartoon version compared to these toy versions. So pretty much the same thing. Doesn't have the same pearlescently shiny paint as you can see on the previous version right here. You don't get the same little glimmer, and I guess that's okay. You have that right there. Same thing with this one. There's some articulation, and this looks just cooler. A lot more paint added to it and everything. So yeah, do like that more. But they have a little bit of articulation. You can move the head. You can't really move the wings, but the legs move back and forth. And this one, the legs will move back and forth, and then up here at the thigh as well. And then you could rotate the head over here. And looking at these wings, oh my God, they look so cool. I love this vac metal paint. It looks incredible. Unfortunately, though, it's molded this way, and then when you get this out of package, this is actually facing the wrong way. So you have to go through the task of rotating this around, which you may have noticed that this was not facing forward when you first saw them on screen. Luckily, some of the hinges maintain the paint. It's the flesh areas where you're going to lose paint. Oh my God. Again, I have been very careful with these. I did not pick these up thinking that, oh, it's 2024. Everything's just going to be perfect. No, I went into this expecting flaking, and I just didn't expect to see it right over here. I expected it more over here. Some of the joints you can move around, and you could see some of the chipping right over there, but oh God, for the most part, this looks really, really dope. I'm really happy that they did this anyway. And you may be thinking to yourself, man, you're just shilling all kinds of shillery over here, Shart. And I'm not. It's just the reality of dealing with this kind of paint. You could accept the reality, or you could try to fight it. I choose not to fight the reality. I have a little bit of a nick over here. Now, I mean, that being said, I wish they were able to do something with this. You know, I just didn't expect it to happen with the flesh tone section. I don't know if they're able to, I don't know. I really don't know how they could have made that better, but I wish, and oh God, it's even worse on the figure itself. You'll see in just a minute, but right over here, it looks a little fuzzy on the flesh tone, but not too bad. Just saying, it's the fleshy parts that you got to be careful with the most. And there has been flaking over here, but damn, I just think they look so, just seeing all this reflective goodness, it just looks so badass to me. Very, very happy to have these. And yeah, I did not get these for free or anything. I wanted to pay for them. I wanted this. So yeah, and I got it, and I'm very happy to have them, but I'm not happy about everything with these, you know. Anyway, the flesh tone does look pretty good on the hands, by the way. There's nice paint detail added to them, so that's pretty sweet. Another accessory I forgot to mention is that each figure comes with its own wiping cloth. Yeah, you get a Super7 wiping cloth, and that really helps get those thumbprints off of the figures. They are super shiny. They are thumbprint magnets. And yeah, Steelheart comes with 3 heads, and this one looks pretty good. I haven't chipped any. Oh, is that paint? No. Okay, good. Yeah, because I did have some paint come off of my Quicksilver, and we'll show that off in just a minute, but I do like this head sculpt over here, and then you have the alternate head sculpt, which, by the way, popping these on and off, I feel like is pretty easy to do. I did heat up the figures a little bit, which is kind of scary with the vac metal, but anyway, here is an angrier Steelheart, and I like this one also. I actually like all 3 of these heads, and you can see how her hair points up right there in the back. God, I love seeing this whole shiny purple plastic. It looks so sick. And then, of course, you get the helmeted head. And, yeah, this looks really good, too. Again, you can wipe this off just a little bit, get those thumbprints off of there. And I really like that. Nice detail and everything throughout on this. So you can see, is that a new chip? No. Okay, that's a piece of cloth. You're going to see some chipping in the hinges right there. There are some hinges that actually maintain. You can see we get the little Silverhawks logo, which we do not get on the cartoon version. So that's pretty sweet. And it's the same body mold, of course. But yeah, you can see paint has come off on the hinges over there. On these elbow joints, I feel like they maintained fairly well. Yeah, I could move that up. You can see it's chipped just a little bit right there, but if I bend all the way past that, it maintains. So that's pretty cool. Same thing on this side. It actually holds up pretty well. But there's other joints that just don't. So that is pretty good. Arms are pretty good on this one. And then, yeah, just overall, you could see everything just reflecting over here. And I like the way they sculpted her hips. She has nice wide hips over here. So nice looking Steelheart nalgas. I do like that. Nice thighs and everything. The knee joints, I think, stick out on this one a little bit more. Yeah, you can see the dull plastic underneath right there. But, oh man, the purple shininess is just so good on this figure. I really like it. Did you see that coming? I did not see that coming. I was looking at a different blemish I had earned on the figure on the thigh, thinking to myself, well, at least I made that happen with the stand and it's on the inner thigh and it's not on the chest or on the face. And then I held this up and I was like, whoa, what happened to his frickin' face? I don't even remember doing this. I did find a piece of flesh on the review station, so it had to have been when I had just picked it up. I didn't bang this against anything. Hadn't dropped the figures. Like, the only thing I was worried about was using those stands, and I could see that right there. That's the little blemish I was worried about. All the while, that was right over there. Oh my god, damn it. So, yeah, that's my biggest gripe with this figure, is that huge chunk of flesh missing from the side of his face. Other than that, it looks really awesome. It's like, okay, dude, sure, you got a big old gap in the face, so that bums me out. I'm going to see if I could reach out to Super7 to just get a replacement head, but I know these were made in low quantity, and damn, I'm scared to pop this head off. I hadn't even removed the head. I didn't even do a head swap at the time. Anyway, any more come off? Nope, and the neck is looking pretty good. So getting the helmeted head on here, and this will probably be the one that is going to be displayed. Yeah, because he doesn't have a big old hole in his face. But yeah, this is looking so sick with the vac metal. You know, with that Superior Iron Man that just came out in the Zabu wave, I wouldn't have expected Hasbro to do this, to go full on chrome. I would have expected them to go with something like their Silver Surfer, you know what I mean? And that's another thing, Super7, if their first attempt was something like just really shiny silver paint, that would have been better than what they had offered with those cartoon versions still, because in the cartoon they looked shiny. But anyway, you can see the green Silverhawks logo over there. Torso and everything looks really good. This arm doesn't have the paint missing, which I wish it had happened to this one instead of the one with the wings, because I'm probably going to have them displayed with the wings. Here's looking at the back right over here. And then there's your Quicksilver butt, Quicksilver legs. Again, that little blemish I'd gotten from using the stands, I think. I don't even remember a particular moment when that happened, but hey, it's there. I'm going to take blame for it because I did use those stands. I did try testing that on like the back of some of the limbs. I love how the paint maintains in some of these hinges, though. It maintains really well over here, so that's pretty cool. And this arm, when I bend this arm, it maintains. So yeah, that's pretty sweet how there are parts where the silver just holds up. So that part impressed me. It's just that I didn't expect it to chip so much on the flesh parts. That threw me off, you know? So, God, it looks awesome as hell, though. So I'm going to use Quicksilver here as an example for the articulation segment, which these were not very posable in the first place, and I feel less inclined to try to pose them around like crazy now with the whole vac metal. So the heads will look up all the way, or as much as that looks to you. That's not all the way, but anyway, you can move them down, turn side to side, and get good head pivoting right there. So that's pretty sweet. The shoulder joints, they look pretty clean up over here. They don't look chipped. I can move them up and outward. That much. Let's see how the chipping looks. And no chipping. All right, so I'm stoked about that. You could rotate the arms all the way around. Bicep swivel. You get the single jointed elbows that hold up fairly well for me. And yep, still holding up. Rotation at the elbows. All the hands turn side to side and they hinge up and down. I really thought the chipping would happen more on the vac metal sections than the flesh sections. But you get rotation right over here. And it doesn't really move forward and back. And you get a little bit of waist rotation also. Then the hips will move outward just a little bit. Oh, you could hear some cracking. And they'll move forward. I'm not seeing any pieces come off. I'll let you know if I do. Doesn't move back. Upper thigh wiggling, not a whole ton of movement. And then you get the single jointed knees, which we already demonstrated hold up pretty well. And you could rotate a little bit at the knees, and then the ankles do move down. They don't really move up. They do rotate side to side. You get some ankle pivot right there as well. A little bit on the loose side with these feet. And then yeah, Steelheart. Same bits of articulation. You're not going to get much movement with the torso. The elbow joints seem to hold up pretty well. The knee joints, yep, they hold up pretty well also. A little bit of chipping right here on this side, though. Actually, that's not holding up so great. And then the same deal with the ankle movement right over here. Not so much ankle pivot, but yeah. It's very limited with the articulation. And then you know what? I'm going to swap these arms right now just so you could see how that goes, which was not really hard to do or anything like that. But you have to just make sure everything's ported in properly when you get those arms in there. And yeah, Steelheart looks pretty sweet. And let's port the arms. Oh, you just saw a little piece of silver flake off right over there. Could have been from the inside. Hopefully it's just from the inside. And then you could go ahead and port on like so. And like so. And that looks pretty good. Except for that chip over there on the wrist. Ugh. Now to measure out these Silverhawks, you could see that Steelheart is standing at around 7 inches tall. And don't knock him over, Russ. Quicksilver is at about 7.5. And then here's Quicksilver and Steelheart next to their cartoon versions. And yeah, these vac metalized ones look so much better, right? So much more satisfying. A lot more frustration, but I'm happy that they did this. And here's the toy versions of Quicksilver and Steelheart. Next to my other Super 7 Silverhawks, we have Bluegrass and Steel Will. And if you're wondering why I'd never reviewed these other Silverhawks figures, it's because I misplaced Bluegrass's hat. Yeah, this came with a Mezco Logan figure. Thank you, Devil's Due. But yeah, I have to find that. I don't know where it went. I've been looking for it all over the place. But yeah, well, what do you think? Will this setup work? I hope they remake these ones with the vac metal also. But going how these have been so far, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. But at the same time, I still hope they do. And here's my new Silverhawk figures next to the Super 7 Ultimates Lino. And here's the Silverhawks next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Silver Surfer. And this Silver Surfer has the best silver that I've seen on any figures, where it's super shiny. It is more matte than the chrome that we're seeing over here, but I feel like Super 7's first launch of these Silverhawks should have been with this kind of paint. That's the most ideal from my perspective. I love the vac metal. I just hated how dull these other versions looked. You know what I mean? Like bringing back this Quicksilver over here, you can see that wing. It's just super dull next to this Silver Surfer right here. So yeah, if I was Super 7, I would have reverse engineered this silver paint because it is freaking awesome. I mean, look how shiny it is. Like, you may even think that's even shinier than what you're seeing over here, but it's just a darker tone. This is still more reflective than that. It's a little bit more matte than these two, but damn, if they had just gone with this, less chipping would have happened, and less releases would have happened too. They could have just made them look like that right from the get-go, I think. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed these figures, so if you liked it, hit that like button. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. Are we still doing that notification bell thing? But anyway, these Silverhawks, I like them. They are not awesome. I got more chipping on the flesh than I expected. That's like what really bums me out, is just missing that paint on the face of my Quicksilver figure. That was something I just didn't expect. Now, I really think that the vac metal has held up better than I expected to overall, which is kind of crazy. I just thought there would be guaranteed chipping on every joint. That's what I walked into this thinking. Maybe thinking I'm a dumbass for thinking that way and still buying these, but you have to understand there's a whole nostalgia factor over here with me wanting these. So that's why I'm dealing with it, is because I want these particular versions over here. Would I have been happy if they had settled for like that silver from the Quicksilver figure, or I mean the Silver Surfer figure? That would have been cool. I would have liked that. I would have settled for that and I would have been okay with it. But, you know, it's like we got the extremes with Super 7 over here with the toy version and the cartoon version. So I'm happy that they did this. They are pricey, $65 a piece. They do come with less accessories, which is actually kind of neat that they did that so that you still feel like you have a reason to hang on to those first cartoon versions, you know? But overall, I understand these are not for everybody. Like, if you're not into the idea of having these at all, I don't recommend them for you. Only if you have that nostalgia itch that needs to be scratched. And this does scratch that itch. So from that perspective, the price point of $65 per figure, I'm going to give these Silverhawks a SUD rating of...
It's not too bad.
And I would have given them a higher SUD rating if it wasn't for the chipping on the face. On the frickin' face! Ah, that bums me out so much. Hopefully I can get that head replaced. We'll see. Ah, damn. But let me know what you guys think. I get, like, not a lot of people are watching this video. I'll be surprised if I get 200 views in the first hour. But hey, I love these things and I had to talk about them. If you want to follow me on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and all whatnot. And I will catch you guys later with the Marvel Legends review tomorrow, so stay tuned. Okay, peace!
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't. Your face,